champagne or rum, achieve success with Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com. And celebrate it with or without champagne.
Got me dancing.
I tell you. I try not to because I know it's gonna run. I know it's gonna stop sometime. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are from a snowy UK, right? And it is snowing. Lydia, welcome our
Hi,
meditation
Lydia.
guru. Glad you're here. Thanks so much for joining us. Yolanda, I see you too. Yolanda K. I don't know what. Yeah, that is that Yolanda, the pink lemonade lady. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh,
When
yeah.
when name changes, I get all confused, right? But I'm glad you're here,
Mhm.
Yolanda.
Mhm.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So anyone else who's here, please drop us a comment. Otherwise, we don't see you. That's the thing with these shows, right? So,
Yes.
right. So if you're here, tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're joining us from. Tell us anything. You can ask questions. Of course, you can make comments. We'll prefer you came on stage or came in the
Mhm.
studio and shared your experiences
Absolutely.
and there's a long message. But if you really can't join us, then so be it. So literally, as long as we appreciate you being here. That's the main thing. So
Yeah. And if you can't show your face, you could always just use your LinkedIn, your bubble, so that we could still hear you like in the audio rooms, and
mm.
that's the beauty of it.
See, there's a weirdism with the way StreamYard works. I don't understand what it is. So welcome, Caroline. I haven't seen you for a while. Glad you're back. Glad you're here. I see you also, Christy. I'm glad you're here of always. Thanks for your support always, Christy. I don't know if
Yes.
LinkedIn user from I don't have where's Bear Risking? Is that of course that's a place, right? But right. So the weird thing about LinkedIn about sort of StreamYard is it doesn't show everyone's comments. Now Lisa
Yes.
is here, our menopause dietitian expert. Glad you're here, Lisa. Thank you for joining.
Lisa, good to see you. And Christy.
Professor Roxana's here as well. So thank you.
Oh, Dr. Roxana.
See, the problem is now we're not seeing everyone on my screen on StreamYard. I can't put all your comments on the
Uh-huh.
screen. But basically, we'll play the game now, Miss Angelica, where we go between StreamYard and the LinkedIn events page.
Yes.
Because everything is shown on the LinkedIn events page. So we can read the comments from there and address them as we have to. So, Belle. Okay, Belle is the one who's in. Okay, sorry, Belle. Sorry, I don't understand. Right. I misread. Maybe it's too early for my day, right? Right, Belle. So the people who have this LinkedIn user thing, I've realized it comes down to that you've set your LinkedIn profile setting to invisible, hidden, call it what you like. So if you want people to see your name at events like this, please do go and change your LinkedIn privacy setting to make sure that we can see you. Welcome, Belle. Glad you're here. We haven't met, Belle, so we need to meet, right? I like to meet everyone that I know because I want to know what you really do. I want to know what you do from your point of view. If I get a chance to tell you what I do, brilliant. But it's more about me getting to know who you are. That we know to call on when the time comes. Ileana, welcome as well. Okay, there's more people on my. Okay, so Ileana, you're here. Welcome. Lois, I'm sure you just heard me. So please change your privacy settings on LinkedIn so we can see you. Glad you're all here. Thank you so much. I'm sure many more are
Yay.
going to. Many more are going to. Miss Angelica, I feel for you, but I don't really. It's not that bad today, is it? We've done this show at 5 o'clock in the morning your time before, haven't we?
Mhm. Mhm.
So 7 o'clock is a good time. You've had hours of sleep, like 2 hours of sleep. Well, you're here. That's an important thing, right?
Oh yeah,
Now,
and I'm awake because in those 5 o'clock I would be very slow talker.
the audio rooms were good for, of course, doing. You could do your events from your bed, literally. and no one will be any wiser. But with video, we feel like we have to get up. I think you can still do it from your bed. Paulette does, and we don't complain. So don't let the camera push you off. Is what I'll say.
Yes.
So the link to join us on stage or in the studio is in the comments. So the first, I left a comment there saying, "Here, click on this link to join us."
Yay!
Well, I'll share the link here again. That way, if you want to join us, just copy and paste this link that I just shared, StreamYard link, into your browser. You can't just click on it. Oh, more great people, and of course, you're all great people. So there's more great people here, though. Where am I? I'm on StreamYard, right? Okay. CJ, Dr. CJ, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Dr. Constance?
Wednesday. Yeah, superb. Lydia, let me see your comment. I can't. Okay, I looked like I was in a room alone in pre-live. Yeah, then could see you, but you could see me. Video's annoying. I don't know. I don't know. There's perks to video, my friends. There's perks.
Yeah.
You have to play the game, and the perk is that I send loads of DMs to people, for example, and when it was audio, if they missed it, you missed it, right? That was that.
Hey, Lydia.
Whereas now, if you miss the show, the replay is playing in front of you in your DM. And
Lydia talks about it all the time. She cracks me up.
Yeah. There's benefits, and look, maybe I'll say now, you can come here and not turn your video on. If you prefer that, you can talk like in an audio room. Just turn your camera off as long as your microphone is on. But I know it does require you to enable your camera and audio before you come in the studio. When you get in the studio, once we can see you, then you can turn your camera off if you really prefer to. Susanna, welcome.
Hi, Susanna.
I know your shows are still going on. You see, you're on CJ doing amazing things. So I'm glad you're here. And Susanna is, of course, in her not being stuck in the box. I'm perplexed by the snow on my window. I can't believe it's snowing. But ignore that. My son's yet to go home. My wife will be aggrieved, but it's fine. It's snow. I had to drive in the snow. It's like, oh, please, So unlucky. But then she'll say, "Well, you were at home relaxing." I'm not relaxing. I'm working. What she thinks everyone says at home is relaxing. Okay, my friends, let's start our conversation. I think today is a very important conversation for me, and hopefully for some of you, many of you in the audience. I'm sure you know who I am. I'm still Enyo Sung. That's my book behind me. Yeah, over there. Oh. One day I'll point to it properly, right? One day, Miss Angelica, I'll point to that book.
I've done that. I have done that many a time here.
It never works. It never works.
I go like this for the face. I go, "Oh, let me introduce you to."
There you go.
I mean,
it's close. That book. Lessons we learned from COVID. It's very close, right? We've done well, So as my days go, I help people to publish a book, to write a book, publish a book, and market the book. Someone came to me this morning and said, "I've got nothing." I'm like, So how can I help you then? Well, I want to publish my book again. I'm like, oh, okay. So we'll do the editing. That's where we'll normally start. We'll do the cover design for this person, and then we'll do the layout, and then publish the ebook, and then also, the print book. And then, we usually market the book for our clients. You see, there's many publishers out there. Of course, there are, right?
Yeah.
So my real trick is the bestseller thing. So I have a process to guarantee any decent book a bestseller. So on Amazon, we'll get you a bestseller award. That means we'll help you win at least one category. Guaranteed. Now, our clients normally walk away with a good few categories. I think Paulette was the last book that we did bestseller for, and she won 32 awards. And she was trying to explain it to Dr. CJ the other day. I'm like, it's important. It's important to my clients. It's important to those who get the awards, because it means your book.
That is awesome.
Really, so that was 16 bestsellers and also 16 hot new releases. Of course, hot new releases are only for books that are that released then recently, right? Now,
Uh-huh.
so even if you've had your book for a year and a half, then it's hard to get a hot new release. Because Amazon obviously knows what's new and what's not. Lydia, what are you saying? There are many lags, Bell. LinkedIn.
She can't find the link too. She said she couldn't find the
That,
link.
that's fine. I will send you the link in your DM, Lydia. So please do join. Okay. Miss Angelica, tell them who you are, and then we'll
Awesome.
start.
Yes, I am a podcaster, also a fellow author. I'm a international bestseller. Yay. And also with my book anthology Rebel with the Cause, and also a children's book author that I published just last year and really excited about. I'm taking it into the preschools that I'm visiting this year, so I'm excited. Cherry's going to have me read it to her classroom, so I'm excited about that too. So just a lot of wonderful opportunities. I also work with families, low income families, and help them with their wellness strategies by sharing the resources we have. One of them being a wellness resource on what parents can do so that they could speak more and engage with their children in a way that the children listen to them, and so the children also learn to speak to each other respectfully, because sometimes when we're angry, the emotions flow and we just say whatever, right? So this website we have has free techniques for these families so that they could practice with their children, and some of our parents have told us that these techniques really work. So it all comes down to habits, right? We learn from our parents how to speak. And so when we learn these new habits and practice them, then we can find a better way to communicate. Just like anything in life, my friend. So thank you so much. Back
No,
over to you. Love you, my friend.
we can do better, right? In parenting, Miss Angelica. That's the thing, right?
All the time.
So I think I don't know. I'm realizing that a lot of what I say about Americans is that parenting programs, parenting approaches seem to be not implemented yet. I say that because in my charity I was running, we brought in a lot of parenting support.
Hmm.
Like you, we've got something called Sure Start. That's a program for families in disadvantaged families, call it that. And so then we had to bring in services called homeschool links, because kids having
Yes.
problems at school is normally down to what's going on at home. And
Hmm.
then with that, we brought in parenting. That's not parenting courses, but the parenting classes, no, parenting support to teach parents how to be parents. So there's many different approaches to parenting.
Yes.
And many are good. So I'm glad. It seems like the US is coming around to that way of thinking. I'm talking 10 years ago that we did this. By the way, I'm saying so. Longer than 10 years ago, 15 years ago, probably, because that's when I left my old job. So I'm glad you're getting there slowly but surely, and you're the one doing it, right?
No,
Thank you, sir.
well, I'm just part of the picture. Our lead on that is Dr. Lily.
Uh,
I'm a wellness ambassador, and they call me Wendy Wellness.
do you have an outfit you have
We
to
have a
put on?
little rap that goes with it, huh?
Is there a Wendy Wellness outfit? I know you love your
I do
outfits.
have a Wendy Wellness outfit. I put on my lab coat and
Okay.
I start singing, clap your hands, everybody. Everybody clap your hands. I'm Wendy Wellness. I want you to know what wellness is all about. So that's how whenever I talk to the parents. Yeah, we have just been using this method, which is something that Goldie Hawn started. But we've
Hmm.
been using this method for about 2 years now. But before that, we always had parenting classes too, because it's really needed. None of us as parents are born with a book or on how to parent. and our
Mm.
parents aren't either. We have to
And our
go and get
parents,
it.
most of our parents are terrible parents. That's the truth, right? Let's face it. They didn't have the clue. They didn't have a clue what they were doing. But then, I guess my wife and I were young parents,
Yeah.
and I tell you, we didn't have a clue what we were doing then. We raised
Uh-huh.
2 kids. Our youngest one now, he's 15, and he's got the best of the world because now we know better, we know more.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I say, and I guess we've come to accept that kids have changed.
Yes.
And kids have changed from our days. Did they have to beat us and scream at us? No, Miss Angelica, but that was their way of doing things, right? But today it definitely
Yes.
doesn't work. It's abuse. It's in the
Yes.
UK. You can't even smack your kids anymore. And I haven't had to smack. When I first heard that, I thought, "Oh, that's crazy. I'm going to lose control." And then and then you realize that the kids are more communicative. Kids are more sensitive. They're more
Yes.
responsive. So there's no. I've never had no. Maybe I'm saying maybe once or twice. This 15-year-old of mine, I've had to tell him off and smack him on the head or on his hand. But
Uh-huh.
see, when he was growing up, he's the one who used to tell himself off. He would do something and go and sit and notice step. I'm like, why are you sitting there? Oh, I did this. You're gonna scream at me. I'm not gonna scream at you because you've done it for yourself. And he's a nicer kid now than I could ever imagine. So it's a good thing you're doing for sure. Look, Pavika, welcome. I see you. If anyone's having problems, let us know. If I can help you, I will. Dentist, glad you're here. I've just published Dentist's second book,
Yay.
Positive Work Balance, yesterday. So we're going to finalize that and then publish.
Congratulations, dentist.
Yeah, well, our first book is a bestseller. Mummy was 2K. So
Mhm.
well, I'm glad you're here, Dentist. The third one, I think the third book is a poetry book. So look out for that too. Welcome, Dentist. Glad you're here. Leah, our finance experts, the one who helps you make money,
Yay. Hi,
spend
Leah.
money, and keep the money. Well, I'm glad you're here, Leah, of course. And Leah, I don't know
to
what time
see
it is yesterday. So what time is it? 4 o'clock? 5? Yeah, no, earlier than that, I think. She's in PST. Are you in PST, Miss Angelica?
She's in PST like me.
You're right. Okay, so 7 o'clock in the morning. So it's not too bad. Okay, it's a 12 o'clock show. That's very, very problematic because Leah's still in the midnights of, what the hell? Yeah. LinkedIn user fraud on LinkedIn is a topic today for sure. We'll get into that in one moment. It takes us a bit longer to get the show started. I want people to join. I want people to feel comfortable.
Yes.
Look, if you want to come on stage, please click on the link.
Yes.
If you want the link, then I would let me know. I'll send you a link to your DM. I don't know who that user is. Sorry, it gives me a headache not to know. Ooh.
Well, and I think that that's another thing that's important on LinkedIn is when people know they see a face there, they feel like they could trust you more when it comes to, since we're talking about fraud, right? When there's not a face that they can relate to, then that becomes more suspicious to other people. Not that we're suspicious. We're not. We're just letting you know
Yeah,
how other people feel, right?
We should be on our guard. We should be. I think that which is part of our show today. The reason why we're doing this is really to make people aware of what happens on LinkedIn. We're not saying everyone is bad. I'm definitely not saying that. No. And I guess the other way to put it is to say, I get it that things go wrong in business relationships. Now, if you buy my service, Miss Angelica, and it doesn't work, that's not fraud. There's many reasons why it may not have worked, right?
Yes.
If I've got 10 people complaining about me, something's wrong somewhere. I've got maybe one person who might go to town about me, maybe two, right? That's max. That's in 10 years. I'm saying, the reason I'm doing this is simply because in the last 2 weeks, I've had people complaining everywhere. So young women being abused, being harassed for money, people taking money and not delivering their services.
Yeah.
And they're doing it to several people.
Absolutely.
And many of those people some don't know how to respond, but some are taking their matters into their own hands. They are essentially doing posts about the scammers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think this is so prevalent that we need to talk about what do we do with them. And here's a real question I'm asking.
Mm-hmm.
If I know someone is a liar, a thief, a cheat, if I know someone doesn't do what they say they do, if I know someone
Mm-hmm.
is pretending to, is masquerading as something else, right? If I know
Yes.
someone is stealing people's money,
Mm-hmm.
what do I do? Do I tell all of you, or do I not tell any of you? What do you think? Would you tell all your friends on LinkedIn, Miss Angelica, or would you just let it go? It's not my business.
I think that if you you feel a little responsible, right?
Hmm,
If that's going on and you don't want it to happen to somebody else, you would probably, if you have a good relationship with the people that you would let them know, this situation happened to keep you on alert. Otherwise, it could happen to them,
hmm,
right?
hmm.
So that's what what are your thoughts on that?
No, exactly that. I think we need to. People are going to talk anyway, right?
Yes.
People are going to talk, and that's it. These fraudsters, these thieves, these liars, they seem to
Yes.
think that we don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, those people who do this, all our friends talk to each other.
Mhm.
There's someone the other day. Now, no sooner had they thought they got away with a fraud, that my friend was telling me, "Here's what happened to me." And then another one came, and another one came. I'm like, right, one of 7 people complaining about one person in one day.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. So I had to DM this person and say, right, they're all talking about you, don't you? And
It's
he's
a
like, oh, no,
telltale
no,
sign, yeah.
it really is. And it's like it's a business thing. Things go wrong in business. I'm saying, no. If people are doing posts about you, people are complaining to each other about you, if people are actually talking about you in public and ruining your name, what are you
Mhm.
doing?
Yeah.
And so now maybe I will add that some of these fraudsters, they use
Especially if
us.
it's just more than one person, like you said.
So see, they use us as the cover, Miss Angelica. That's what annoys me.
Yeah.
This person was going around saying, Amy is my friend. He trusts me, so you can trust me too. No, I'm not your friend. I never was your friend. It's so jarring. It's so
Yeah.
jarring.
Yeah.
So my friends, look, come and share your stories. Help us be more aware
Lydia!
who or what that we.
Good to see you.
Don't
This
mention names. If you can not mention names, that'd be better for all of us. If you have to mention names because you're so aggrieved, so annoyed, then I will understand.
Uh-huh.
We can deal with that.
The
So
names have
Lydia,
been
well,
changed to protect the guilty.
yeah, that's another way, right? No, truly. No, so pretty friends for mention names or changing names. Yeah.
Hmm. Mhm.
It's not to protect the guilty, it's just to protect yourself. Because
Yeah, that's true. To
it's to
protect
go
us too,
on,
because
yeah,
we
protect
don't
us
want
and
libel against us.
exactly. You know, Lydia, what do you want to share with us today? What do you know? What's your experience? What can we learn from you? You know,
Lydia and
uh,
I have experienced very similar things. Go ahead, Lydia.
I just want to let you know that it is getting into the room. If anyone out there is trying that, a private message is sent to you, but it does take you away from LinkedIn. So
mm,
I'm no longer on the LinkedIn event.
yeah,
And usually I'm running these things. So I don't necessarily know that because I'm not on LinkedIn when that happens anyway. I'm doing the chat from the sides like these
mm,
guys are. But that's how you get in the room, is check your messages. It is glitchy today, you guys, on the other end.
yeah,
It's there are several people falling in and out of the room. I was sitting there
yeah,
and I was chatting away, and I'm like, are you guys starting? Hey, what's going on? What's shaking you guys? And nothing was happening. So
Oh,
yeah.
anyway.
No, it's a problem. Yesterday was quite a bad day because comments were not feeding through to StreamYard. All that
Yeah,
shit.
I have that often too, and I check at the end, and then all sorts of people are telling me, "Hey, your sound is messed up," or what, and you can't see those.
oh
Mm,
So
yeah.
it will get better because now all of a sudden everybody's going to be using it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Anyway, so I don't know if I missed anything before I got in here because of the switchover, but yeah, you're right, Angelica. We have had a similar experience. Now, people are going to do what they do on LinkedIn, and sometimes one thing I've noticed is that I'm learning about myself in this, and how do I let people in? And sometimes they say, no, I really have a pain point and I really want to talk to you. So I will initiate that, or they will initiate that. And it doesn't come out until later that they are trying to sell something that's not right, or proposing marriage. And yes, I've had that several times on LinkedIn. And I'm sure I'm not alone. And it's so going to that point where you're in a session and someone is asking for services or demanding services that are not what you provide, which is what I've had also recently. Just know that you can, it doesn't matter how you got there. You can still get rid of your connection with the person, and the person may have stuff going on, whatever, but you don't have to be in the room with them. Whatever is happening, you just deal with you. If you're not comfortable, then say, this isn't what I do. This is, thank you very much. And leave the call. The thing that I've had trouble with, and maybe being on this platform will illuminate the answer to this, but it is difficult now. It has changed, at least for me, how to block someone on LinkedIn. If you go to the instructions, it says how to block them, but all one is able to do is to report them. And then LinkedIn goes through and looks at your transactions on LinkedIn. And if you've gotten on a video call with them and that's where they've become inappropriate, then they're not going to see anything. And then they're not going to ever go through, initiate the blocking. Has anyone else experienced this?
Yeah, somebody tried to get me on a video call, and I said nay.
Well, see, I provide video calls.
But I know, you know, and I think it might have been the same person, but also they asked for your picture, and I'm like, I got tons of pictures on LinkedIn. Just get one of my pictures on LinkedIn. Why do you
want? You see, no,
look at my profile, okay?
Dodgy conversation or what, right? You see, I think people are learning that there's normally a trail if you send DMs. That's a tragedy, right? And I think there's a blocking issue that came in with events, where LinkedIn said, if you two have been in an event together, then you are friends. You're first level connections. You know each other. So they made it pretty hard to not know someone you've been to an event with, whether you joined theirs, they joined yours, whatever, right? Or you joined someone else's. So that's where now this issue. I think then they removed the block button for most cases, right? So now people are basically using video calls or videos and also voice notes. You see, they don't leave the trail that the DMs do. Right?
There's nothing wrong with how is one supposed to do business if one isn't accessible? Like I'm seeing on here that Paulette Hallam is here, and she's saying that people are asking for money all the time. And then there's people, Michelle Bodenholm says they're always asking me for my WhatsApp number. Now, if you have a phone number anywhere on there and they are asking for your services, and it seems as though, because they've been in rooms with you before, that they have, this is for me, not with first level contacts, but with second level contacts. So I've been with them, but I've not they're not my friend. I guess this isn't Facebook, but you know
Yeah,
what I mean. It's
yeah.
and but they can still you can still get them into a room, or they may actually engage you. Now I've changed things because my services are not so much, I don't so much have the free consultation, at this point. But if you've gone in on that, and it's okay if you have a free consultation, just know that you are opening yourself up to this, and you can use your heart and use your gut all you want, but until you have someone in a room, you may not find that you can tell, and they're not going to hurt you through the screen. That's the thing. You can say, no, that's not my service. And
Emotionally, some of them harass you emotionally. They will harass you for a long time.
Absolutely. And then I learn about myself, because in the end, there's not, you have to ask yourself, why am I allowing myself to be harassed? Why don't I just shut off the button? So yeah, someone that Angelica and I have talked about has continued to contact me through every way possible, because there was initially at one point a Calendly link. That Calendly link put them on my calendar. They got my email from that. There are ways to shut these things off, but realizing of yourself, if you want to be doing business, and that you may want to simply, you may want to find a, what do you call it, a scheduling platform with integrity that you like, or you may just want to send them a link and make it an individual link that's for that one time that you're going to be with them, and not your general link, and try it from there. And if it doesn't work, exit, and then they don't have your information.
No, see, that's good advice. You see, I've done LinkedIn for so long, and because of the way, whether you call it pitch or whatever you want to call it, something similar, right? Where you connect and you tell them what you do. I've done the email scraping on LinkedIn. It didn't work. It takes too long, and many people have the wrong email anyway, right? They have old emails, so I didn't do it for too long. I said, but literally, I've learned I don't give away my contact details.
Yeah.
If you want to meet with me, you have to. We have to do it personally. I don't even have a calendar, because no thanks. I want to know who I'm meeting. That means a conversation. I have to agree to meet you before you can meet me. And if I can't meet you, then I'm not going to work with you, whoever you are. I don't care. I don't care how much money you've got and how much money. So I'm saying, I think maybe we have to go back to the old school. That's one of my ideas, Lydia. The old school ways of arranging meetings with people that you trust. Don't just have meetings with anyone. Don't leave yourself open. That's you said. Don't put your calendar on LinkedIn. LinkedIn wants to do that. Everyone's got their book a meeting with me. No, don't do it. No, it's not worth it. It's too much of a risk. And the scammers, the spammers, they will find your details. The people whose business is just scraping LinkedIn for information, contact information.
Yes.
So be wary if you do. And the second thing I would say is, let's learn to report these people. Even if LinkedIn won't do anything, if you report someone, LinkedIn does take notice. LinkedIn will do something. They'll put a black market against their name.
Even if they even if they examine it, what I was thinking is that, like, say that I reported this person and Angelica reported this person, and maybe other people in this room or not in this room did, because what are the chances that this person simply came on, and this is like, it's beyond like a cat call. Yeah, if you're walking down the street and somebody cat calls, you have to, it's their right to do it. You have to walk away. But if they continue to follow you and cat call and follow you and ask if you will take their services or serve them in whatever capacity, then that's different than just catcalling, right?
It's harassment, it's abuse.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But we all have, if we all are reporting it because we're having anything from this person, from catcalling to more, then they like Annie said, they've got to take notice that everybody is reporting this person, and nothing may be showing on the online because the person's not an idiot. They're not going to say, "Hey, baby," online, but they are.
Some do, Lydia.
Some
Many
do. You're
do.
right. Some do.
I'm thinking of the ones that send you inappropriate pictures. Inappropriate being ludicrous pictures, literally of body parts. You're like, what the hell?
I know.
Goodness name, were you thinking? And they do on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. They do on LinkedIn. They do on social media. They think it's all right. It's not all right.
Yeah,
It's
you
never
wouldn't
been
think
all right.
that you wouldn't think it happened on LinkedIn, but that kind of stuff. Or they ask for a picture of you, or and in an uncompromised position or something.
Yeah, exactly.
We laugh, but I'm disgusted, and I truly
Yeah.
think it's ridiculous behavior on a professional network. There's no ground for it whatsoever. Lydia, I would love to hear what's your real experience. You and I spoke in the DMs, right? I would love to know what we can learn from your experience. What's the situation? What's the issue? What's the misbehavior?
Yeah.
Before we do that, give me a second. Let me welcome Nathaniel. Paulette, come on stage. Come and share with us. And Paulette has many stories to tell us, not just people begging. She knows, because Paulette is like the grandmother of us on LinkedIn, right? So when people harass people in our community, we tend to say, "Go and talk to Paulette. Go and talk to Dr. CJ."
Yes.
Because those two were they're protective, protective mothers on LinkedIn, and literally they normally go crazy at the people who are just rude, and they put them straight anyway.
They
So
protect the underdog.
Yes, the mama bears, that's what we call them, right? Yeah, if you want to come and share, please feel free. So welcome, Jeremy. I see you. True friends don't just protect themselves, protect others' friends or not. I agree. That's what the conversation is today, Jeremy. We need to, we do. We need to. What's the word I'm looking for? At the people who are not worthy of being in our network. I think, and people, a lot of people do. So they do it through posts. They do it through conversations they have. Some do it in our events, and that's always a shocker, because that ruins the event completely. When someone suddenly comes, suddenly there's a war going on on my stage, and it's like, no, don't do that. So we have to protect each other. I definitely agree.
Yes.
That's a conversation today, really. So,
yes.
but then, if you want to come up, please, do come up. Say it's Paulette's people begging for money. Professor Roxanne, I was a bit shocked. Don't be giving them your WhatsApp number. You know what it takes to get to them on my WhatsApp? It takes months. And if we're not real friends, there's no reason to give you my WhatsApp number. I'd never give it to you. Really. So very few have ever got on my WhatsApp. And some people think it's the first step. They connect and they say, "Give me your WhatsApp number." I'm like, no. No.
When they ask me for money, I usually ask them to go to ChatGPT and put in a prompt on how they can make money online. Because we got to teach the fish. We got to teach them how to fish, right?
But they're not interested in learning how to fish, Miss Angelica. They want your money. When you say, "Look, there's no
You gotta
money
fish, honey, just like I have to fish."
in that truth.
You guys are bringing up another point, though, that the idea. Remember, we all come to things from a different perspective, and me, for instance, I have a lot of people that I do business with, and some may even be in this room, and we have moved to having our chats on WhatsApp or on Telegram, or whatever it is. And then And it may not be one of those people, but it can be. Like all of a sudden, someone can become inappropriate. Like, how many people here have? And the inappropriate is, it's inappropriate for you. So it doesn't really matter whether the world thinks it's inappropriate, whether the world thinks it's heinously inappropriate, or whether the world thinks it's just cute. If it's inappropriate for you, then you can say, okay, I'm not comfortable with the way our relationship is going after meetings now, or whatever. And then if they don't take that, then you can go about blocking them. But sometimes people they get your number because they've actually been in meetings with you, or they've been on an event with you that has happened on WhatsApp or on Telegram, or that's the way a lot of people do business. So that's kind of how they get in there. If you are doing rooms for learning, X, Y, or Z, money or wellness or meditations or whatever, and everybody gets into this room or says, be a speaker on our global platform, all of a sudden everybody sees you on WhatsApp or on Telegram. So you have to actually protect yourself after that. It's not always, unless you're going to live in a freaking bubble. And I'm, sorry, but yeah, some of you know that I'm not a person that's nothing's happened to in my life. And that's okay, because I'm learning from these things. If you get someplace because you're not living in a bubble and you're uncomfortable for any reason, ask yourself, why am I uncomfortable? And then deal with it. Get out of the room, block them.
Yeah.
Maybe there's tools for video meetings. I use Fathom, for example. Video recording tools. Record your meetings.
Me too.
Fathom does it. It puts it in the cloud. The video is there. The transcript is there for you to use it if you ever have to. And again, of course, when you start the call, when you're recording, the person does get notified. So hopefully it might deter bad behavior. Because no one wants to experience these negative behaviors. But so actually having a recorder might just stop them in their tracks, whatever they're thinking.
Yeah.
But it won't. Some people are just thieves. We haven't got to the thieves yet. The ones who sell eggs but don't have no eggs to sell. Them sort of thieves. There's loads of them. There's loads of them on
all those egg sellers on LinkedIn.
I like eggs,
How
but I
about
like eggs.
people that provide services and things like that are on LinkedIn as well? That how can you know, like, let's say somebody's working on your website, how can you know whether to trust that person? That's another thing, because when they go in, you have personal information there, correct?
Yeah.
You can go through a process of vetting. There might be somebody who really doesn't have much on their LinkedIn page. They don't post a lot, but everybody says this person did this for me and they're wonderful. They're worth the money, they're whatever. And you approach them and they say, yeah, I'll do this for you. And they do it. You have to, at some point, and that's I think kind of the question here, like, where is the line where you trust?
Lack of engagement is another thing too. If they're not always on LinkedIn, and like you said, also you could look at their profile and see what they're posting, right? But I think that's another thing that's a big red flag, a lack of engagement.
Well, I have somebody I'm working with right now who doesn't engage at all, but everybody endorses their services. And I get nothing from them except like the most secure ways to move things around, like passwords and so forth. So yes, they have it, but it disappears after a while. There's a service called Quick Forget, and I think that's what it's called. That's a good one for people to know about, because if you need to send anything, a password, information about somebody, information about that's proprietary to you or is copyrighted, you can send it through Quick Forget, and you can say this will disappear after 1 opening, or after 2 openings, or
Mhm.
as soon as this person opens it, or after 2 hours, or whatever it is, and it disappears. And it's a free service.
Mhm.
So that's a good way to deal with things. But there's, I'm pointing this out because
That's good to know.
I'm specifically working with a person who has a great LinkedIn profile, but it's not really what they do, and they don't hang out on here. They
Mhm.
work on your website, and they work on other people's websites, and it's a personal connection. Like,
Mhm.
people personally have worked with this person. And so
Mhm.
that's what I mean by vetting. It's not, at the person who we were talking about before, Angelica, doesn't look like they do that if you looked at their LinkedIn profile.
Mhm.
And plenty of people we know are friends with them and have even endorsed them. So that
Mhm.
maybe is not the vetting I'm talking about. But if somebody has personally said, this was my experience with this person, it was wonderful, or it was professional, or it was top notch, then you say, okay, that person has actually worked with them, as opposed to said, hey, I like their post on LinkedIn, I'm going to endorse them. There's a
Mm.
big difference.
And then they
There
could
is.
copy posts, right? That's another thing. They can copy content from other people and just put it on theirs if they're not really doing anything. So that's another thing that we need to be cautious of if they are copying other people's messages. And I think that maybe that's why that person wanted to do a video conference so that it wouldn't be um, recorded, right? Like Annie says, because the DMs are people can use that as evidence. So that's
Mm.
another thing to look at.
Look,
But
let me mention some of our comments. Now, Dr. CJ says Paulette, and Achille and Paulette will welcome you to their live stream where they will name the person because there are far too many crazy people on here. That's a good thing. I mean, Dr. CJ has 160K followers, connections, on our platforms. I'm saying that's a lot of people, right? And
yeah,
he's willing to name the bad people who do bad things. So do connect with Dr. CJ and
I need
Paulette.
to see the list.
Yeah,
We might
well,
have to add some to that.
they are addressing issues, and I know personally that we've
Yes.
written. My friends have raised issues, and so those two have literally put the people to rights, and those
Hmm.
people end up not being on LinkedIn afterwards. That's what I like.
Yeah.
So we need people to ultimately leave. Now, if LinkedIn will kick them off, then when by the time CJ and Paulette get to them, they normally have to find. You can't be on a network like this if you have no credibility, if you're dishonest, if you're a thief, if you're a liar, if you're a scammer, right? But
Hmm.
we need to make them know that we know, we see
Yeah,
you,
absolutely.
and then they have to go. So don't be shy about going to see Dr. CJ at all. And I said, Paul, Leah says endorsements are helpful. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I really know. I wonder what you two think. I think even the reviews, as you're just saying, Lydia, even the reviews, I'm wary of. You know,
Yeah.
I only want video reviews where you can see the person if they're talking honestly or not. That's anything.
If
Of
it's
course, I get.
coming from their LinkedIn profile, it's secure enough that you shouldn't be having people putting a comment on or an endorsement on that isn't them, if it says it's them. But still, how do you find the difference between somebody who has given a recommendation and has actually worked with you, and somebody who's given a recommendation and who hasn't, who's just said, they're so nice in the audio rooms, or they're so nice. I have people I have both on um on my page, and there are people who have said, who have worked with me in different places in the world, and we have been together, and they can say, she did X, Y, and Z, and, you know, kept this organized. And that is true. There's other people who say, yeah, you know, great. This is a great coach or a great musician or great, and they're the best. And no, they actually haven't. They haven't been with me in that capacity. And I don't tend to put those up, and then there's people like Annie and I. We're in the same room for years at this point, doing the room over and over again. And we do have meetings and we do talk. And Annie has shown up to my events, and I've clearly shown up to Annie's events. And Annie and I know each other, you know, well enough that endorsing one another, we can say we worked together. But so I'm just giving that as an example because I want to put that question out to people. How do you discern whether it's malarkey or whether you're just, you know, wanting to believe this good stuff of this person and you don't really know, and other people don't really know either, but they're putting it out there?
I like to work with them first.
What's your take? Yeah. It's about a lot of scammers. They will use the endorsements and review, or what's it called? It's not the recommendations. That's what they call on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, recommendations.
They'll message you and say, "Oh, I'll give you a recommendation." Yeah, I'm like, you don't know me. I don't know you. Don't ask me for one. I can't speak of it. I don't know you. Who
I've
are
had
you?
that happen. Yeah.
I say, so people use it as almost as a hook, as they way into your network.
Hey, I'll give you one if you give me one.
Yeah, which is really ridiculous. I LinkedIn to know better. I don't know what.
It's not a people dumb, you know. It's
and then they ask you in the recommendation, how did you work together? And that's where I'm like, I have to work with you first in order to recommend you and see how you work.
That is a reasonable,
how we work together. And I think that's probably why they put that in there too.
I think, you know, always take that step and slow things down and ask the person. Like my strategy is always to ask the person, how can I comment on your work when we haven't worked together?
Absolutely.
And then I normally say, right, okay, so let's work together. No problem. You want a recommendation? Let's show me what you do then, right?
Yes.
Invariably they disappear quietly, never to be seen again.
Well, unless they're that person we were talking about earlier, right, Angelica? Let's work together. They're like, all right, let's work together.
Okay, so paint a picture for us. Paint a picture without naming names, please. Yeah, once you
Annie is getting more and more curious.
Yeah, there are all sorts of different people that are not, that you don't want to work with, right? And I've had plenty of people who clearly have not looked and seen what they did. They just want to hop on a call and sell something. And that's something, if they're so unengaged that they haven't even looked at what services you provide, and you provide the same services that they do, then you might want to question, you know, gee. But some people go for something different, right, Angelica? And I think that's what Annie's talking about. I've had things from people after being together in several trainings or whatever, have said, yep, marriage is a thing. No, marriage isn't a thing, and I recognize your pain, and that's, you know, but marriage is not a service I provide. And recently,
and I'm too happy single anyway.
I shouldn't laugh, but sorry.
I know. Recently, it was more than that, and it's what services do you provide? How much do you cost per hour? I said, oh, I don't cost per hour. I don't have a per hour. I'm not that kind of consultant. You know, here's this package. I said I have the online membership. I have classes. You can commission me as a composer, but I'm not. And it's like, well, what is this Terea Touch that you do, and that's something that I'm certified in now. And that still is going to, you're going to get that if you're in a retreat or something. And it's not, I don't just go, you don't just fly me out for an hour and I do Terea Touch. It's not, not, and I was very clear about that. And I said, okay, well, but what is it you do? And they kept asking about my services. So I thought to myself, this is getting a little strange, but I will make this more clear. And I sent a package, and then, okay, yeah, that's what I want to know more about. So then we're on a call. No, actually, yes, on the call. Said, well, I can be very demanding if I'm paying thousands of dollars to fly someone out. And like, who are you paying thousands of dollars to fly out? I'm like, I don't understand where you're going with this. And I just kept,
that sounds like an Epstein Island thing.
Right. And then it was just more and more inappropriate. Let's say, I'm not, going to say the whole details. I'm like, no, that's not a service that I provide. And I never told you that you would pay thousands of dollars to fly me out, because you're not going to fly me out, because that's not a service that I provide.
Yeah.
I don't really want to go into any more details than that.
That's as inappropriate
I can imagine.
as it gets. Yes.
What's that, Annie?
That's inappropriate as it gets.
Really, it's pretty inappropriate. There's no, hey, perform for me on video or anything like that. It was more like, I'm going to fly you out, and because I'm going to do that, I get what services I want. I'm like, no, that ain't the way the world works.
At least not in our world, right? We're like, you got the wrong person, buddy.
Yeah, and God help the person who falls for that sort of trick. Don't fall for it. Basically, that's right. I know you charge Lydia, but I know you don't charge thousands. And I don't know. It just sounds wrong from the beginning. Everything that you said, really. Caesar says he normally sees patterns and movement in time of how real people are when there's no activity shown that you can ascertain the real person from. I think it's really meant to talk about posts and comments and engagement. That's people sort of people got nothing on their profile. No, you haven't seen them before, and we get these people these days. See, the thing, Caesar, is that they come to LinkedIn, and they are weird and I'm not going to say wonderful. They're weird and strange. Many of them, right? Some of them look like they should, like good people. They even start off good, and then suddenly, when you give them time, then you realize that they are dishonest. Suddenly, I had one the other day. So let's talk in examples rather than in theory, right? There's someone who suddenly popped up on LinkedIn. And like, okay, you looked good. You look like someone who is intelligent, someone who means well. They're doing events. They're getting around. They're making friends, having one-to-ones, and then suddenly they are. It's not gossiping. They are spreading rumors about people. This person said this, and they've stolen your stuff. They've copied your content. They've copied your ways, your strategy, what you said you do, right? So you have to take a legal challenge out against them. You're like, what the hell? We thought you were a decent person. Where are you talking from?
They're talking from their story, and that's a thing, and we can't control their story. If they're thinking highly of themselves because of fear of losing their home or losing their job or something, and they're trying to do something else to either fill in that space in their world. You don't know. Yeah, it could be anything, right? Or if they're just thinking, they're trying so hard to sell their product that they're not listening to you. They're thinking only of themselves. And that's something that, again, we have to walk away if that's not working, because it's a two-way, you each start on your end of the bridge, and you meet in the middle. You don't just, people, whether they're stuck in their stories, hopefully they'll get over it, or hopefully they'll become not a sleazy person, right? Or not a person that you can't trust, but that's not up to us. But if they're in that, I think that's what it is, Annie, that they are in their story, doing their thing. And if their story is to take, then they take.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with us. And that's the thing, like, just walk away.
It's a criminal.
Yeah.
It's a
It
criminal
borders on
where,
criminality.
yeah, where they feel that they're that it's okay to do that because they might have lacked that when they were younger.
Yeah, or whatever the reason. It's just some people just might make us uncomfortable. I've certainly been uncomfortable with people who have been stuck in a story in their heads and just are they're the people who slam you with their product, right? And you're like, no thanks, I'd like to meet you, I'd like to know. That's not how we do this in my corner of LinkedIn. I want to know who you are, and because there are lots of people who provide your service. I don't need your service. Even that, like, if you're uncomfortable, walk away. What I really love, though, I think one of the most valuable takeaways in this whole conversation is something that you said, Annie, which is just take it slow. Slow your roll. Don't jump at this. Just take it slow.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Look, going back to CJ, her promise to scammers is that she will introduce them to the world where they feel like they've been advertised and highlight their messages. I like that. Let's shine the spotlight on these people in a big way. So of course, we hope more people will come up today and share. I know our time is short, Miss Angelica, so I don't want to keep us too long, right? Leanna says thank you for your conversation. Let's put it on screen.
This conversation needs to continue, though, because we were talking about scammers, but part of it is also being harassed by people in other forms.
And the harassment, it's not just men harassing women anymore. It's now women harass men too.
Yeah. And that's basically a scam. I mean, people will say that's not a scam. That's just humans being. No, if you walk into a room saying, hey, what are your services? And then you say, no, I demand a different service, then you're not being straightforward. Period. And that's
let's be clear. There are people who send, say, inappropriate pictures, body parts. I've seen this. I've seen this in remote control pictures, and you can imagine what it's showing us, right? And you're like, what the hell is wrong with you? You crazy man. We got him blocked and kicked off LinkedIn very quickly. And he's not
wow.
Here's another one for you. Some services are too good to be true. They probably are. So there's a friend. Again, see, these people, they tag along with us. Scammers. I assure you, whoever you are on LinkedIn, you know some liars, right? Because they come on LinkedIn, they think, ooh, who can give me credibility? Who can I tag along with? Invariably, us events people are at the first port of call. But literally, they befriend people to get you to give them, make them look good, right? There's someone who is in a network who they say that they sell public speaking services. I'm sure you know public speaking services, right? And the big ones are the big ones. There's big ones, right? And there's the smaller ones. But so they use the name of the big ones, and they say, right, I will get you on their stage.
Hmm.
Just pay me, and then I'll get it done. I know people who paid them, and it doesn't exist. That's one. So then, tied to that is someone who says,
I need to know these people.
I,
You need to give me the
I,
list.
I will share the
We need
list
to
with.
we need to share the list with each other,
Yeah, no, truly, So
and
look,
then go on Dr. Constance stage too and spread the
yeah,
word.
no, I shared the list with Paulette the other day when I went on a call, and I played the recordings as the voice notes this person sent me.
Uh-huh.
So no, it's not. I'm not lying, but we know you're lying. We know you don't. You're not connected to those companies. We know you don't provide coaching for the big global coaching companies because even
Yeah.
you have nothing to do with them. But what they do is they say, "I am that person who can get you to that level," and then you pay. So I provide training, I provide something, and then
Hmm.
people them, and then they suddenly months down the line realize that they've been paying someone. They might as well be paying the cleaner to provide training because
Right.
one is the same level, but even more. There's nothing between the training that they were getting and the company that was apparently behind it.
That's a fake account because they're
Yeah,
providing
right. It's
fake
a lie.
business.
It's a
Hmm.
lie. Lie.
Hmm.
If you're not a Microsoft affiliate, you can't sell Microsoft training.
Hmm.
You may have said, but they use the affiliation, the illusion of an affiliation, to further just get money out of people, and people pay them sadly because they want
Mm,
stages, they want to do big things.
that's
So
sad.
yeah, it happens every day, sadly. And I said, we have to report these people, for sure. Chris, welcome. I see you. Oh, Kenny's here as well. Welcome, Kenny. Kenny's safe in
Kenny,
the
Chris, good to see you guys or
way.
see your words.
Yeah, well, I think you're here. That's the important thing. That's what let's
Yeah.
say. The problem is that some people are very subtle. They truly no, they've played the long game. But meanwhile, they are distressing people in the background. People that some are so clear in how they do it. Here's an example. I know people who they won't try and sell to. I mean, how to put it? People from certain places, right? Their target is us in the West, British Americans, people in Europe, right? Because
Yeah.
we have the euro to dollars to pounds. Unless you have the currencies, they won't try and sell anything to you, right? So what
Hmm.
they do is that they build up a network of friends, who don't, from everywhere else. So when you look at it, you think they've got thousands of followers, thousands of connections. They must
Hmm.
be good people. There are events every week for these other people. But then they're scamming anyone who falls for their rubbish and tries to engage with them. Anyone who says, "Let me see if if I can benefit from your service." The subtlety they show and almost the cleverness they show. And when you find out who they are, really, when we find out who they are, they change their names. These are red flags, my friend. If someone's going to change their name on LinkedIn, you see, I used to think if someone's changed their name, it's probably because LinkedIn wants them to verify themselves. The verification thing, you must use your real name. And
Uh-huh.
then they change the location. You're like, what the hell? Who was that person? Really. This is the
And they
ones
still
that
have the same face, huh?
same face and the profile normally has the same information that was there before, the old name and the old identity, but just everything just looks odd, right?
I
It's
need to know who this is.
Miss Angelica. I'll tell you after the show. I promise you. I have no problem telling people who the people are, right? What does that
Yeah. Because
say?
I don't want to get, none of us want to get that to happen to us.
No,
None of us
no,
want to get
no,
scammed.
no. That's why I happily share with you right now, for sure.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
the question says, "Do you think men are better than women at performing due diligence?"
I need to hop off. Thank you.
On that
Yeah,
note,
thank you.
on
Thank
that note,
you.
Lydia's.
No, really.
I love you, Lydia.
Thank you, Lydia. Thanks for coming on stage. All right, I truly
I'm
appreciate
glad
it.
you came up.
Thanks.
Everyone else
else
how
come
easy
up.
it is, right? You know, it's easy to not come on stage and speak. You know. How long do you have left, Miss Angelica?
I think I got like 5 more minutes.
Okay. Kenny says I don't like fraudsters either. And Kenny, that's how you spell Kenny, is it? Says Kenny,
Oh, I
it's
can
also
for. Oh, can you
there's Kenny and Kenny. Honestly, Kenny.
on the one? Get
Right.
Kanye on him. Kanye will take care of it. We need you, Kanye.
Don't pay Kenny. Don't pay Kenny, right? Pay Kenny instead, right? And they
Yeah.
charge thousands. I'm lying. I'm like Kenny's a good person, and he's just being funny, right? Are men better than women at performing due diligence? What's your take?
Um, I think sometimes I'm not sure how men handle it as much as women do. I usually report it. If
Mm,
something like that happens, I will report it right away because I don't want it to happen to anybody else.
mm.
How would you handle the due diligence version?
Ah, I guess that maybe there's something in that, Leslie, in the sense that it tends to be women who are more victims, more harassed,
Oh yeah,
more
that too.
got act. No, but that's because of what you're saying that women tend to speak up and say I've been wronged, whereas many men probably keep it quiet. But if you wrong me, believe you me, I'll tell the world. So I have an audience. I have a voice. And I will report and block. I report and block before you get anywhere near me to be behaving inappropriately. I say that, but maybe because many of my inappropriate behaviors come when people think I am a woman. I'll leave you with
I
this
think
one.
it's the age too. If you're a more of a mature woman, you're not going to put up with
Mm,
maybe a younger person might because they don't have experience maybe on how to handle those situations, and that's why we have the grandmas
mm, mm,
like Paulette, or even here we're pretty mature in having this discussion as well. But
mm.
in our discussion, we're clearly letting people know that you need to do something about it and report it. So
Yes.
that's number
Yes.
one. If you
Mm.
ever need to talk to anybody about it, you could talk to us too, right, Annie?
Talk
We're
to us.
available.
CJ's there, Paulette's there.
It's
We're more than
DJ and Paulette. They'll
uh,
definitely do an advertisement of the.
yeah, no, for sure. The CJ says, maybe I think this is a good lesson to learn. Collect proper proof. Collect proof.
Yeah,
Screenshot.
that's
If you
what
got
you gotta do
recorded,
first.
save them. On your WhatsApp. Don't delete them. Make sure people know and use that as your evidence. And of
Hmm.
course, I hear what Leslie's saying. It's our responsibility to 100% to make sure we vet the people that we're working with. If it looks too good to be true, don't fall for it.
Hmm.
There's nothing worse than buyer's remorse. When you buy something, suddenly you realize that you've been scammed. Don't fall.
Yes.
Do the work beforehand. Make sure that people you're talking to that is the right person. And do beware of these speaker stage promises, as Susanna says rightly. And maybe it's another very cheap one I see these days. People want to improve your LinkedIn profile. They want to improve your YouTube.
Hmm. Hmm.
Unless you are very sure of what you are paying for, don't be paying anyone to do these things. And if someone says that they want to increase your YouTube numbers, especially, ask them how.
Yes.
It goes back to Leslie's point just now, right?
Yes.
Bet the people. Some people are just going to buy your subscribers or the followers on YouTube, and guess what? When YouTube finds out, they will literally never let you monetize. If they find out you've been buying subscribers, you're screwed. But don't tell me you didn't know that this person was going to buy you subscribers because they're going to give you 10,000 new followers right tomorrow. How? How do you think it's going to happen?
I've had people tell me that too. Yeah, on YouTube.
Don't fall for it. I see people who come unstuck. They do years of work and they can't monetize their YouTube numbers. Even though they got the numbers. And no, don't fall for it, please. Hello, Tracy. How you doing?
Hi, Tracy.
What can I say? What if the Fraudsters block and report their victims before you do? Oh, that's all right. Let's leave this as a last question today, Miss Angelica. And this does happen, by the way. This does happen. People behaving appropriately, and then they block you, so you can't respond to them, and then you can't report them because you're not connected anymore.
Yeah, that's tricky. Once you find out and you approach them about it, I guess they decide, oh, I better block them before they block me.
No, so look, what do we say to people? Act quick. If you smell,
you need to know who that is, by the way, Pravika, so that doesn't.
No. Pravika has many stories. Again, and Pravika and I are friends. I know who she's talking. I know the people she's talking about. This is where we say it's not just men that are the wrongdoers here. Women are wrongdoers too. I assure you.
Oh yes.
Yes. People do ludicrous things. Really, look. I say if you smell rats, if you think something might be wrong, you get in there and report them. That's number one. If they blocked you, you can still report them on LinkedIn. You can still there's a reporting page on LinkedIn. If you get stuck finding it, let me know. I'll direct you to the page. We can still make a complaint, and LinkedIn will still deal with it, whether they took away the connection or not. Dr. CJ, another one to be aware of. I'll leave you on this. Someone used my name and said it works with me. Definitely not. No, I agree. And people do this every day. I worked with Angelica. I worked with Benny. I worked with CJ. I worked with all these people. It's not true. And all you have to do is just DM us and ask a question. Have you worked with this person? Do you endorse them? Do you trust them? Look, I'm not saying it's not just us. I'm saying we will be honest with you. And I hope the people that you ask the question to, your friends, will be honest with you too and say, no, I don't know this person. If they do know, hopefully they speak with honesty how they know them, right? I think that's my probably best idea. What's your take, Ms. Angelica?
No, I think one of the things that, like you mentioned, is we got to be really careful and find out who these people are, for one. And like Dr. Leslie said, vet these people, because it seems like we need to do more vetting with each and every day that happens, because scammers are coming out of the woodwork everywhere.
Truly.
You get those telephone scammers, and you get, they're just, all types. You get these email scammers, and you get the text message scammers. We're just talking about LinkedIn here, but those are. And then I just found out that PayPal, I know it's been for a while now, but PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle, they're using that for scamming as well. So
every which way, people do it, my friends. So I'll leave you with this: that Paulette is planning to do, Paulette and I suppose, a monthly room. We'll talk about the scammers and the bad behavior that people can come and report, and talk about, because we need to know, right? The wrongdoers today may change. There'll be new ones tomorrow, right? And there really will be. We need to keep on top of this. This is not just a one-time thing. In the past,
absolutely,
and walk away. Let's keep the conversation going, and bring your story. Now, bring your stories. Now, we need to learn from each other. We need to report these people to each other. We need to learn to avoid the right people. My friends, look. Thank you so much. Act quick, Pravika says. Jay says, you need to be aware of consequences of slander and libel. If you have evidence, it's not slander, is it? If you have evidence, Jay, I hear you. Of course, you see the scrolling banner on the screen. We don't want to come and mention names to just to slander people. No, willy-nilly. No, that's not what we're asking for. But the issues that we need to know about, Jay, we can't keep it quiet forever. I can't let you get scammed by someone I know. You might say that's subjective, but no, I'll tell you my story. You tell me your stories. Let's see if that's a scam. If that's truly, if something's truly amiss. If one person's complaining, Jay, maybe it's slander. If you've got 10 people complaining about the same person, same for doing the same thing, that's evidence, right? I'm not scared of being slandered. I'm just, I want to give people a window to the world, a voice to speak. Miss Angelica, thank you so much. I know we've got 3 minutes left, but you have your good day at work.
Thank you.
What's the name at work again?
What is it? What is it that I'm doing right now?
No, what's your name? No, what's the new name of yours? With your lab coat.
Oh, Wendy Wellness. Clap your hands, everybody. Yeah.
Girl, sing the song. Don't sing that bit.
Okay. Clap your hands, everybody. Everybody clap your hands. I'm Wendy Wellness. I want you to know what wellness is all about. Yeah.
God help us. Jessica's coming to London, next month, and
I'm so excited.
Yes. No, it'd be fun. It'd be fun come and see you and your crazy sisters.
Yes.
And I will complain all the way around any attraction you take me to. I'm a bad tourist. I'm a bad. Friends, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Of course, we're going to find out. We'll bring you another topic in this, in this series of ours, where we'll talk about how to make our events better. Romy, I see you. Welcome. Glad you're here.
Romy.
So. Oh, now Jay says talk about the slander. It's like scammers who slander you and talk badly about you. That is a scam in itself, right? That really is. That's people do that.
Yeah.
It's mayhem in our lives, just for the sake of it.
It's
again.
It's horrible.
Report block, my friends, and choose it. So maybe the one thing I'll say to you is I'm trying to choose my friends more wisely.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do. Sometimes you gotta let some people go. Some people will say, "No, they're my friends." No. If they've done you wrong, and if they keep doing people wrong, they're not your friends. They're really not. You might think they are. They're not. Your friends look after you. Your friends are nice to you. Your friends care about you. They don't steal money from you. They don't steal, your reputation on. And I don't like people who just lie to us on LinkedIn. Look, enjoy your day, Miss Angelica.
You too, my friend.
I'll share my list with you.
I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
It's cool. Enjoy.
Okay, love
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Love
Bye,
everybody
everyone.
who came.
Bye,
Thank you.
Bye.
Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum.